What's up, everybody? This is Ball Talk Deep, where we talk deep about ball. You already know. You got your favorite host, Andrade, and yours truly, Erwin. We got 3 topics lined up for you. We know you're gonna love it. 3 topics we got lined up: best trade destinations for DeMar DeRozan, best trade destination for LaMarcus Aldridge. Man, we got the trade season fully on the way
on this episode.
And the topic that we're gonna talk about right now is the primetime schedule. You see, the NBA really doesn't start until after Christmas. And Andrade actually got an email that he's going to allude to, which is about the primetime schedule.
That
Andrade,
insider information,
Yeah, some top secret information that you want to get a Ball Talk Deep. So more reason, if you haven't done so already, press that little subscribe button.
That's true.
Andrade, tell us about that email you got.
All right, so I got an email last Saturday from this recording.
Okay.
From the NBA saying I knew about the NBA Saturday games, but I guess I didn't pay attention to the fact that they hadn't started on Saturday. Mm-hmm. And they said that the NBA Saturday Primetime games just started. Mm-hmm. And they presented the lineup. And for the rest of the season, we got 9 Saturday Primetime games. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. And then I was looking at each one, and I was like, that's when I texted you. I was like, yo, I got a topic in mind. Like, let's pick individually which are the ones that we want to see the most. Mm-hmm. And you want me to ask you first?
Nah, I'm fine, man. I'm gonna ask you, man.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So since you got that email, out of that list, you're gonna see it right now. Is what games are you looking forward towards, or see more as a legit primetime game that I think the NBA community is gonna agree?
All right, the one that I want to see, I think is gonna be the best matchup to watch. Because the problem is, man, and they'll see it on the image, like you mentioned, they got 4 games that are with the Warriors, which obviously the NBA didn't predict that both Klay and Steph would be out, and now all the Warrior games aren't gonna be as dope to watch. You feel me? Because it's just they're not.
Nope.
And so the one that I ended up feeling the most, besides the first one that already passed at this recording, which was Lakers versus Rockets, was February 22nd at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. We got the Philadelphia 76ers versus the Milwaukee Bucks. That sounds like a good matchup to me. You feel me?
That does.
Exactly. And then I don't know, maybe we'll watch it together, or when we could live stream it and stuff. I know some people have been wondering about that, if we'll ever do that. That'd be cool. What you think?
I fuck with it.
All right. And then so these are my reasons why this to me is a game to watch, at least, and my favorite one from the Saturday primetime lineup. And you got 2 top tier teams going at it each other, 76ers and Bucks. Bucks got Giannis, 76ers got Simmons and Embiid. And then you got both top tier teams in the same conference, which makes it more intense for the seeding, because let's face it, everybody in the East now, because the East is a little more evenly matched, at least in the top groups. Absolutely. Everybody wants home playoff advantage.
Yeah, definitely.
And right now it looks like the Bucks are gonna run away with it, but Philly isn't gonna step down.
Nope.
And last reason is because they're in the same conference, this could be like a glimpse for us of what we might see in the playoffs if they face each other.
True.
Because they're both considered, especially in the preseason, they were considered the top 2 teams in the East, or at least 2 of the top 3. Right now, Philly's been a little on and off, but they're still considered at least a top 4 team in the East, at the very least. So we're watching a pretty good lineup and pretty good matchup that we might possibly get to see again in the playoffs. So this would be a nice little glimpse of what could happen. They're gonna play intense. I don't see why they wouldn't play intense. It's a primetime game, so it's nationally televised. Everyone's gonna see it, assuming the stars don't sit down and everybody wants to show up on a primetime game. You feel me?
Yeah, definitely.
So that's for me is the game to watch out of these 9. What about you? Which of the Saturday primetime lineup games stood out to you?
That's a great choice, actually, Andrade. And last one point that I do want to throw into that is that game is actually right after it's a couple weeks after the trade deadline, so these teams might look entirely different.
Ooh,
maybe not the
good point.
Maybe not the Bucks, but
Yeah.
maybe the 76ers, which is gonna go to what I'm part of my choice.
Oh, I mean, last week's episode when we talked about whether it might be time to break up the process or not. Which, guys, I'm just gonna say, and I've been leaving this comment on YouTube, on a lot of YouTube videos, that like I won't say a lot, but a couple of the topics that we talk about are talked about legit the following week or within the same week of when we upload the video. You feel me? And yeah, I saw the jump talk about that same team, whether it might be time to trade Embiid or Simmons. And right now they were talking about today, possibly like, which kind of surprised me, considering trading Embiid, because Simmons is playing pretty well now without Embiid in the playing recently.
Definitely, absolutely. To go with that, to not go far from that, the game that I chose is actually the one that's occurring on February 1st at 8:30. It's going to be the 76ers versus the Boston Celtics. Because you see, right now, the Eastern Conference is yes, the Bucks are running away with the number 1 seed. There's no question about that. Unless Giannis goes down, they're going to have the number 1 seed. But however, from 2 to 6 right now, all those teams are very, very close apart. You go on a losing streak, you're probably gonna go down to the number 7 seed.
True.
No. And the same way if you go on a winning streak. So the game that it's over here for February 1st is the 76ers versus the Celtics. The important reason why I say that this is very important is because it's 5 days before the trade deadline. As we said in an earlier episode, the 76ers, they're kind of like in a crossroads regarding the process.
Wait, before I cut you off, my bad. So the trade deadline is when?
February 6th. February 6th is the trade deadline.
February 6th.
Correct. And right now, like we were saying in an earlier episode of ours, is right now the 76ers are kind of like in a crossroads, an impasse regarding the process. Should they break it up? If they are going to break it up, who are they going to trade? Ben Simmons or Joel Embiid?
Decisions.
And February 1st is a very important test. You see the Boston Celtics right now, as we're recording right now.
Okay.
They're the number 3 seed right now.
As a test, boy. Okay.
And the 76ers right now are, I think, the number 6 seed, which, right now they're only a game apart, two teams apart. Yeah, they are, if you actually look it up. Woo! I don't know if Andrade's going to pull up the standings or not. I don't know. He should or not. If he does, you already know what to do. Leave a like button on the thing. But to go back to my point, it's going to be very important to see how they stand. It's more than enough time to see, if the 76ers, if they gel together with the new addition they had with Josh Richardson. And it's more than enough time for their front office, Elton Brand, to see if this is going to work out or not. Because the Boston Celtics, they're going to be a threat, come playoff time. In addition as well, it's going to go back to the Boston Celtics as well. The reason why, during Danny Ainge, recently during his tenure, he has a whole bunch of assets. He has the most valuable asset he has right now is the number 1 pick of the Memphis Grizzlies for this year. Are they gonna pull a trade or not? For a star to possibly get them over the hump. Are they gonna keep it as it is? They got some good stuff going on with Jason Tatum, with Jaylen Brown, with the whole thing that they got going on right now.
Yeah.
Why break it up if it's not working?
And look, to point out how you mentioned the standings right now. Philly is 5th and Boston 4th, so they're literally right neck and neck next to each other.
They're right there, so it's a good barometer to see, if these front offices either see themselves as legit contenders or
boy throwing out barometer out there,
or as a pretender that needs to make a move to make a move or two.
And we did do one on the Celtics.
And yes, we did. If you haven't done so, man, you're asleep, man, and that just means one thing, man. You haven't hit that subscribe button.
Yeah.